Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast studio. I am super pumped for today. This is an organization that I really believe that more people need to know about. And I got in touch with one of our guests today and was so excited to come in. We sat down before the cameras even started rolling and probably shot a podcast before we put the podcast on. Gosh darn it. So, Allison and Bethany, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
This is going to be fun. A serious topic nonetheless, but it's certainly a resource that people need to know more about because those things exist, right?
They do.
So give everybody a little bit about background about you, Allison, and
Sure.
then we'll jump to Bethany.
Of course. So I'm the volunteer and events coordinator.
Yep.
So I recruit and train and place volunteers within our organization. And there's many different ways that volunteers can help us out, whether it's in our administrative office, at events, coming out for holiday project. We even have volunteers that will go through special training to answer helpline calls or participate in our hospital companion program as well. So we have lots of different levels. Some are daily, some are monthly, some are once a year.
You guys have a lot going on. I was checking out your website.
We do.
And it'll be interesting to, dive a little bit deeper into that as the show goes on.
So
how about you, Beth?
Yeah,
Bethany.
No worries, Bethany, like the beach.
Okay,
right.
Let's go to the beach.
Yes, so I am the community educator for SARC, and it's interesting. Like I am in this role because I was a volunteer first.
Okay.
So I volunteered with SARC and really had a wonderful experience doing that, and the number of ways adopting a family, and then I really just recognized the importance of talking about domestic violence and making sure that it was an accessible information for the community, and that struck me as being like a worthwhile use of time and a greater commitment than volunteering, but something that was really important. And I've always enjoyed educating. I'm an educator like by trade. I had a long career in higher ed, so it just seemed to be like a perfect fit to be able to do that with a topic that I was already volunteering around and that I was passionate about.
Yeah. Awesome. Wow. And that's the show. No. No. This is something that's so important because I think people that are victims of domestic violence really don't have a place to go. Like they feel maybe alone, right? And so, what is SARC and what is its mission?
So really, we are a lifeline to individuals that may be victims or survivors needing services from domestic violence, sexual assault, stalking, human trafficking. And we are here to support the Harford County community. We have tremendous support from our community in order to do so. We are a nonprofit, and many don't realize that SARC has been in existence since 1978 in Harford County. Yes.
Wow.
And it was started a very grassroots organization. Literally, there were some citizens that noticed that there were some things going on, and there were some victims out there that were in need of resources, and they didn't know where to go. So some folks got together and started literally in somebody's kitchen.
Okay.
And
Very
then
grassroots, yeah.
through the Harford County Women's Commission, they were able to organize a little bit more formally, do some grant writing, get some funds, which started the helpline.
That's amazing.
And so, that's and they've moved to 3 different locations throughout their time span. Yeah. Currently, our administrative office is right in downtown Bel Air, right on Bel Air Main Street.
Okay.
We do have open office hours, so folks can just walk in. They need services, whether it be counseling, legal help. We have an emergency food, clothing, and hygiene pantry there, or they can just come in and get some information.
Sure.
If they need to. And then, of course, we have a safe house, a 40-bed safe house that's located in a confidential area within Harford County.
Makes sense to me. Yeah, absolutely. Are those the span of the resources? Are there other resources or?
Lots. Yes. And I should preface this by saying that all of the resources that we offer to anyone needing them are 100% free.
Okay.
So whether you need counseling for yourself, we also can do counseling for children, legal services, protective orders. We can help with family law, divorces, child custody cases, things like that. We do have our 24-hour helpline, and that is literally 24/7, 365. You need information, you need help, you need a safety plan, you need a referral. You call that helpline, we're going to be there to receive you.
Let's drop that now, the
Sure.
number, just because people just heard it, but then we'll also recap
Sure.
at the end with that
Sure.
helpline.
1-800-836-8430.
Okay.
Do also advocacy as well as court companionship. If we've got somebody that's going to court to do a protective order, we will go with them just to make sure that there's somebody in their corner. And I mentioned before the hospital companionship. If somebody comes to the hospital, if they've been attacked, they're by themselves, the hospital staff knows to call SARC, and we will send somebody out just to be by their side. Sometimes they just need someone to stand outside the door. Sometimes they want someone to hold their hand. But we're there just at probably one of the worst moments in their life. If they've got to speak with police or have, photos or whatever's happening, the SARC will be there for them.
Yeah.
And we do that in coordination with Upper Chesapeake Medical Center.
Would you say that kids that are more involved in these situations than just a married couple or a couple that's together?
I think these situations can happen to any single person that you can imagine.
Yeah.
And I, in my position, don't work directly one-on-one with clients, but I do work with our staff pretty closely with some other things.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that there is no stereotype when it comes to anybody that could be a victim.
Sure.
So whether you're talking, a human trafficking victim or a sexual assault victim, domestic violence victim, we've had people all age ranges, all colors of the rainbow, all backgrounds, ethnicities.
There's been a lot in the news lately about human trafficking. Is that pretty prevalent in Harford County that we just...
It exists,
we
for sure.
we really just don't know?
It does exist,
Yeah.
yes, unfortunately. And we work also, really one of our best allies in the community is Harford County Sheriff's Department. Actually have an office in their Family Justice Center so that we are there, to be there present if they have somebody that needs our help or needs our services.
Yeah.
And they work very, very closely with us, and we do trainings with them. They do trainings with us. Sheriff Gaylor's been amazing in his support.
He's an amazing leader, absolutely. So certainly part of this is advocacy and education, and we'll throw it over to Bethany for this one, right? Yeah. What are some of the things that you're doing to kind of get the word out to educate people more about what SARC can provide as far as resources?
Yeah, so we are fortunate that a lot of organizations are aware of SARC, and so we will be invited to attend events. So, for instance, last week I attended National Night Out where the farm fair is,
Yep.
and so that was a great opportunity to just talk with people, to answer questions or discreetly provide resources if necessary. Before that, I had done a workshop at a church that actually was, and this is very interesting to me, they were exploring the pet and human bond and how churches can support the relationship between humans and pets. And so why did they invite SARC there? Well, one of the things that we're expanding in our shelter is to have a pet kennel. And so, because that is actually one of the reasons why people stay in violent relationships, is they don't want to leave their pets. And so in September, we are going to be opening a kennel so that people don't have to leave their pets, and they can come and they can, find safety with SARC, but so can their pets. And we also do workshops with young people, because I think that one of the most important ways to sort of disrupt the history and the prevalence and a lot of the things that we've learned over time just living in the world is by educating younger people about what a good relationship looks like, what green flags look like, what red flags look like. And so that's also another aspect of the work that I get to do as community educator, is to sort of contribute to prevention, as much as addressing existing issues.
100%. That is interesting. Does the school system allow you to come into the buildings, or? We've
had a couple of schools that have been incredibly supportive. We've done full assemblies with Folsom High School, Edgewood High School, been able to go into some of the large clubs at Sea Mountain Wright.
Okay.
We've got information in North Hartford High School as well. So we're definitely expanding that aspect a little bit more.
Sure.
We do a lot of focus on that in the month of February, because February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month.
Okay.
So we really focus a lot of our campaigns with young people
and teaching
during
them what
that
a healthy
time.
relationship looks like.
It's really just, about the language of you actually, visualize and focus on that argument. It's on their phone.
Right.
And so it just really
Yeah.
gets that point across that that is their center of communication, and they are feeling all of the pressures and all of those anxieties from those things. And so when we identify that maybe that could be a red flag relationship,
Yeah.
it was like an aha moment with a lot of the kids. You could sort of see them perk up and say, oh, like maybe this is something that happens consistently
Right.
or regularly
Yeah.
with them. And so again, just spreading that education and having them understand that if this doesn't feel right to you,
Yes.
you have some resources, you have some options.
And even if it does feel right to you, right? Because like love bombing, for instance, which I don't know if you're familiar with that term.
I'm
but-
not. Please,
okay.
please do.
Yeah. Well, love bombing is when at the beginning of a relationship, someone like showers you with all kinds of affection, right?
Okay.
So they're calling often. They're like, oh, where are you? Like, how's your day going? I'm thinking of you. I'm dropping this off for you. And, and typically someone would view that as, oh my gosh, the person's really into me. They really love me.
Yep.
But really that is unhealthy. That is an unhealthy start to a relationship. That is really so oftentimes a manipulative approach to controlling
Yeah.
and to keeping an eye on where people are. But I think that, again, we see everything in the movies and Disney and all this stuff that you think, oh, I'm the object. I want to be the object of someone's affection.
Sure.
And so what that looks like in the modern day is many text messages, and I think young people would interpret that as being a sign that, oh my gosh, I'm loved, and
somebody cares about me.
Someone cares about me, and this is
And
wonderful.
maybe they're not getting that from other places in their life.
Exactly, and your prefrontal lobe isn't really fully developed anyway. So
That's
you're
true.
thinking, that this is the affirmation I need because I'm insecure. And again, these are normal developmental changes, but
Sure.
that feels good, and that actually is a red flag
Yeah.
that most teenagers probably wouldn't spot. So, yeah.
Wow.
Just feeding them information, and,
Yeah.
and maybe they are okay, and that's fine. That's great.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that I feel like even if with young people, if we can go in and just educate, plant a seed, that may be something that they're going to recall later in life.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So,
a young girl hears that conversation, and then all of a sudden, she meets this boy, and all of a sudden, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
This is what they were talking about.
Right.
Well,
And it happens throughout your life.
It
I
does.
mean,
Yeah.
40-year-olds, there's love bombing, so
Right.
Sure.
it is helpful, like you said, to maybe it'll be a seed that's planted and that sprouts later, and you're like, yeah, actually, this is not.
And really, we would love to be able to, sort of break those patterns. A lot of time, unfortunately, individuals that we see as victims of assault or domestic violence, it's a pattern of behavior that has gone on in their lifetime, maybe with parents, maybe with grandparents, generational.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I think that's one of the reasons why someone doesn't leave or doesn't seek help, because they think that that's normalized.
Right. Oh, so good. Yeah.
Yeah. And really, the average span of someone wanting to leave an abuser, it's like 7 times.
7 times.
That's the average. They'll maybe leave for the night and go to a friend's house and then go back, and leave and maybe go for the weekend and visit their parents and then come back, or, it's.
But just that thought of, like, he only he just did this one time. It's not going to happen again, type thing, And I don't know if that's a stereotype or whatever, but ultimately, like, victims honestly feel like they can change, and can they?
Maybe they feel like they can change the abuser. Yeah.
Right. That's what
Yeah.
I mean. Yeah. And often I think it's probably not the case because it's just so ingrained into a person's DNA.
There's so many factors. There's like you said, generational factors, environmental factors, economical factors. There's so many things that happen. The point is that whatever the issue that they're having, or however it's come to fruition, if they just make the phone call, if they just
Sure.
reach out to us. In addition to our helpline, we also have a chat line through our website. So a couple of days a week, you can, if you do not feel comfortable making a verbal phone call, maybe somebody is listening to every call that you make.
Yes.
You can go on and chat with us.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
And you know what I thought was cool with your website? I was also looking at your website. I was looking at your Instagram too. I wanted to go back to the dogs real quick.
Sure.
There's a whole bunch of posts about this whole thing behind pets and animals and bringing them into the shelter. That's awesome.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by the Markland Advantage with Cummings & Company Realtors. When you're ready to make a move, give us a call. We'd love to help you out in the buying and selling process. If you'd like more information, simply message us or email tim@themarklandadvantage.com. Now back to the show. Then the website I thought was really cool was there's a button there that you could instantly click out of the website if,
for
say,
safety.
exactly.
Somebody walks in. It also wipes it off of your search history.
Interesting.
And if you click that button, it goes right to a weather website. And then if someone goes back and looks at your search history, they will not see that you found that
That's
you were
so
looking up
smart.
SARC. It's for individual safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. What are some of the challenges you guys are facing as an organization?
I think the biggest is awareness. There's so many people that we are able to get out in front of, whether it's outreach events or whether it's a training session or a fundraising event. Think, oh, this is just a great event. Let me just come, to this community group or something. And they come to our table and we say, my opening line is always, are you familiar with SARC? And so many people say no.
Interesting.
And we are just here to serve Hartford County. And I would say 50% of the people that I speak with publicly have never heard of SARC, do not know who we are.
Interesting.
However, I do feel that everyone knows someone that has been affected in past, present, or future with domestic violence, sexual assault, or something of that nature.
Sure.
Everyone knows one person in their life that maybe could have needed some resources. So
that's a wild statistic to think about. Like you every single person, 100% of people
take a
know at
moment
least
and
one
think,
person.
I believe that I believe that's
even though
true.
even though you might not know it, that
sure.
that person could have gone through some trauma. You know?
I think the other cool thing that happens when we're out talking to people is that at least one person will stop by and say, SARC saved my life.
Yes.
Or, SARC was there for me when I needed them.
I used your services, or my sister used your services, or I lived in your safe
the
house.
The testimonials on the website I was reading through, it's
incredibly emotional for us. And when I'm out or when you're out, and we do a lot of public speaking, and we will recount some things because it's important to let people know what's happening. And we become very emotional about it. And I can recount the same scenario over and over again, and I still feel that way. We find a lot of that too when we do our holiday project, and a lot of times people that are survivors that are maybe in a better place now will come and participate and donate, holiday gifts or Thanksgiving food to current clients, and they will say, can I tell you our story? Can I tell you my story? And I'm like, oh, is that? Of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's it's tears, it's emotional.
Can I tell
all the
you,
time.
how much hope does that provide the person that's currently going through the situation to meet somebody that has gone through the situation and knows exactly where they're coming from, and to see that, hey, there is light at the end of this tunnel. That's huge.
It is good for them to know that there are survivors that out there supporting. However, you should know that there is no meeting of that and no meeting of the clients. In fact, in our administrative building, no client's name is used. They either will give us their case number or their initials, because their privacy and their safety and their anonymity is paramount.
Oh, absolutely.
So no, there is
that makes sense.
Even if somebody is coming in, to meet with their counselor, to meet with their attorney, if they acknowledge us, we will welcome them, of course. But their privacy is more important than a greeting.
100%. Yeah, that's huge.
We take that incredibly seriously.
Yeah. So, and I would think that certainly another challenge is money, funds,
That's the big one, yes.
And that's why you have a job.
That's the big one.
So what are some of the ways that because you were talking about grants and stuff like that before, but certainly that's not going to be enough. I mean,
We're diversified, but we're always looking for new folks that may want to come and jump on board. So we are very lucky that we receive some support on the national level, on the state level, and also on the county level.
Okay.
We do a lot of grant writing.
Yes.
We have lots of different directors of different departments, and we grant write for everything under the sun, everything that we can find.
Right.
We will grant write for. One of the hardest ones to find is general operating, because a lot of the grants really specifically want women to help women and children, which we do as well.
Yeah, sure.
But we still need to keep the lights on, and we need to, sort of pay the electric bill and all of that thing, and also pay our fantastic staff.
Sure.
As well. So always looking for additional grants. We also have sponsorships. So we have a really wonderful group of annual sponsors that support us, and we have multiple different levels. Okay. Someone can honestly come on board to support SARC as an annual sponsor for really as little as $3,000 a year.
Okay.
That's not a large chunk of change for a large business.
Yeah.
And we then, of course, will treat them as a community partner and try to support and promote and, highlight that business as often as we can, and hang banners and really feature them at all of the events and the outreach and things that we do.
Yeah.
So we do have a group of annual sponsors as well. Then when we have our events, we have 4 major events during the year, which is my big responsibility.
Okay.
And then we will bring on event sponsors for each of those as well. And really the events are really fun. It's really appeals to anybody's interest. We do really a fun, it's called Walk a Mile in Their Shoes. In April, we go right down Bel Air Main Street. You may have heard of Walk a Mile in Their Shoes. It's actually a worldwide event.
Okay.
So we sort of franchise it.
Okay.
But essentially, it's men, but also women, children, walking 1 mile through downtown Bel Air in high-heeled shoes.
Come on now.
I swear. It's fantastic.
I'm going to sign Drew up for that one.
It's such a fun event. It is family friendly. And by the way, we don't check your shoes at the door. You can wear whatever shoes you want to. But people really get into
like heels and stuff.
High heels, yes.
Oh my
But
gosh.
it's really fun. We go right in the big Bel Air South Main parking lot next to Das Beer Hall. We've got a DJ and a food truck and face painting and games and vendors. And it's a great, really fun morning in April. And then you can participate as an individual, or you can start a team.
Okay.
So our team captains get to come to a captain kickoff event in February, and then it's peer-to-peer fundraising. So we provide you with a link. You can name your team.
Okay.
The names are amazing. We have everything from,
give me some examples.
let's see. We have got Hatchets to Heels, and that is the group at Krabby X.
Yeah, we know them well. Yeah.
We've had a group that were Mustaches and Stilettos. That was a lot of fun.
My gosh.
We've had some really phenomenal organizations that will come. So the teams can be started honestly by businesses, by social or philanthropic groups. Or just, a group of neighbors, a family, etc. So we provide you with a web page. You can set your goal, make your name, and send out a link just on social media.
I know.
And to say, hey, we're doing this. You want to join my team or sponsor our team.
This community.
It's so much
this
fun.
Community is great.
They are fantastic.
With so many different organizations, people are just more than willing to get involved, and especially business owners too. The small business community in Harford County is strong.
They're phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then when people show up, sometimes people just show up. Sometimes they have a team T-shirt. Sometimes they'll wear a little costume.
Oh my gosh.
We had a group last year. Unfortunately, last year it had to be rescheduled because we had really bad weather the day of the event.
Oh no.
But the great team at Hopkins Farm Brewery let us come out a couple weeks later and do something there. So shout out to those guys.
There you go.
But we had a team called the Wicked Walkers, and it was about their theme was the Wicked movie. So they had capes and witch hats, and we've had people in the past that do tutus or boas, or everyone from a group will go get thrift store high heels and spray paint them all the same color, or people really get creative and fun with it.
And this is in March, April?
This is in April.
April.
Yeah.
How many years have you been doing this?
Oh, a lot. Long before me.
Long before you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Since
long time.
1978.
No, not that long, but yeah.
Say 85.
85?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just picking a year.
Yeah, pick a year.
Sorry.
It doesn't matter.
It's a great time for everybody to come out.
Yeah.
Then we've added our Pause for a Cause event in June, and we do that in Haverty Grace. And that is similar to the walk, where you can sign up your pet to come out and walk. There's no high heels involved. But we did have a pet costume contest, so we had some super cute little dogs that dressed up. And the same thing, register your dog or your cat or your bird or whoever. We only had dogs at the event just for safety.
If I see somebody walking a bird down the road.
We didn't need dogs chasing cats or anything like that.
Right. Yeah. The cat chased the bird. Yeah.
Right.
But it was fantastic. People came out to walk, and we had some vendors and things there. And then we walked through downtown Haverty Grace, and it was a blast. We had a great time.
That's cool.
It not only raises awareness for the fact that we do have a pet kennel, and people can shelter safely with their pet.
Yep.
You don't want to leave your best friend at home.
Absolutely.
When you have to, be in that situation.
I love that.
But it was a fun way to raise awareness.
Sure.
And some funds. For that.
And now you have an event coming up in October.
October, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm
talk to me a little bit about that.
Very happy to announce that it's sold out.
Wow.
And so it's called Bubbles, Bourbon, and Barrels.
Okay.
We have it at Rockfield Manor.
Love that place.
It is a phenomenal evening of premium tastings, champagne, bourbon, tequila, and beer.
Okay.
We are very lucky and honored to have Bel Air Liquors as a partner to help coordinate that with us.
Nice.
We bring in delicious food, live acoustic music. We have a cigar bar. We bring in a guest speaker, someone to tell their story.
Okay.
Because the reason we haven't in October is because October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. But in addition to that, we'll do some silent auctions, some phenomenal things like trips and really great silent, golf outings and that type of thing. And then we do an event raffle as well. So that's a lot of fun.
And that's sold out.
That is sold
Dang
out.
it.
Yeah, we sold out in about 2 weeks. Unfortunately.
Really?
We did.
Okay, well then
it's a really popular event.
If you're listening or watching right now, you're going to need to jump on that for 2026, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's probably a really good time.
So we have a great evening. Again, the community is amazing to come out and to support us, but we love doing this event, and it's easy because it's a Thursday evening. The dress is casual. People can roll in right after work, have some great tastings, have some food, get a great silent auction package, listen to our speaker, and then just dance the night away and have a great time.
They've done a lot of work up there at Rockfield too.
We are thrilled to see the new.
I was just there over the weekend, and they were at a wedding, and it's really nice. Yeah. So
and then in May we do a bull and oyster roast.
Okay.
Which, who doesn't love a bull and oyster roast?
Absolutely. Where do you usually have that at?
This year we had it at Water's Edge, which was fantastic. So we're going back there again next year.
Okay.
Food was amazing. The setting is fantastic. And year's theme was Cinco de Mayo. So that right there is a great night. You do it the first weekend in May.
You guys know how to party, don't you?
Well, listen, yes, we do.
Yes.
But the reason we want to put on a phenomenal event is because we want people to come to it. We want people to have a great time. Want them to spend their money and support our event, support our cause. But we always go back to the fact that we are there for a reason. We are there for a purpose. We're there for the clients.
100%,
Everything we do is for the clients.
Yeah.
So, as a nonprofit organization, we have to fundraise. That's just what it is.
Absolutely.
So the more fun that we put into the events, the more people we're going to attract. And that's going to be more resources and more services for our clients.
That's awesome. That's so cool. That's really good. What do you enjoy most about what you do?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm excited, for instance, for like October, and it'll be my first like official Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And so I think for me, like I like uncovering the issues that like are sort of hidden. Just in general, I've always been like a curious person.
Sure.
I'm gonna, blame that on my journalism degree. But I've always wanted to uncover something, and I think that's the really cool thing about this role as a community educator, is getting to shine a light on something that is often really hidden. And there's lots of reasons why it's hidden, right? It's hard to admit to being a victim or a survivor because there's judgment. And people think, oh, well, whose fault was it? Or, all of those things. And so the work as a community educator, and particularly during awareness months or during these events, really is an opportunity to expose hidden issues, to educate the community, to create a collective interest in prevention.
Yeah.
Whether that's through laws being changed, whether that's through fundraising, whether that's just through being aware and recognizing the signs, teaching other people like what the signs may look like. One of the really cool trainings we offer is for people in like retail spaces and restaurants, because sometimes they see an interaction, and that interaction is actually a sign of domestic violence, and they need to be aware of that so that maybe they can offer help, or maybe they can notice if the victim is signaling for help in some kind of way.
Yeah.
So I think that is for me the most rewarding part of being a community educator, is sort of like when you see the light bulb come on for people just by mentioning one aspect of prevention or one aspect of awareness, and why it's so important, then that is the reward, because I hope that they pay that forward in some way, shape, or form in their lives.
Yeah. You said something within there. What are some of the misconceptions that people have about domestic violence, stalking, everything that you guys work with? What are some of the falsehoods?
I think people have in their mind a stereotype of what a domestic violence situation looks like, that it's, they sort of have in their idea profile, and you can just throw that out the window because, again, the folks that we are servicing and the folks that we are providing resources for are young, middle-aged, senior citizen, men, women. There's a lot of things that happen in the LGBTQ plus community, and people may not always realize that is going on.
Right. I think also that people think it's just physical abuse, when it can be emotional, it can be verbal, it can be financial, withholding money and access to funds. It can be digital.
Okay.
And so there's
certainly, digital. I mean, that's over the past 10, 15 years has definitely opened up a lot of craziness.
Exactly.
For lack of a better word.
So I would say throw your stereotype out the window, because it really could be anything, anyone. All walks of life.
Exactly. Or people thinking that there's that there's always an association between substance abuse and domestic violence or sexual assault, where, certainly a substance abuse issue could exacerbate the experience, but it's not.
It doesn't need to be present.
Right. It doesn't need. It's not a precursor. Necessarily. And then I think another one that I think is really important to say is that it's all income levels.
Yes.
People often think
every economic background.
Right.
Yes.
It happens to people in a lower economic circumstance, but very wealthy individuals, everyone in the middle, and people that might be using government assistance or whatever the circumstances, are all potentially being victimized by an abuser. And that needs to be really, I think, one of the things that people recognize, that it's not just happening to like a certain kind of person that they may think.
Sure. Wow. I'm not sure if this is true or not, because I see it on social media sometimes on different reels and stuff like that, right? But so I might as well ask you, is there an international sign for somebody that's in distress that that if you saw it, you'd be like, that person needs help?
Not that I'm aware of.
I know. I don't think there's an international sign.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
No. I do know that
I've just seen it like on TikTok, like a guy and a girl are walking down the sidewalk, and she holds her hand behind her back and does some kind of symbol.
I've seen that as well. Yeah.
But I didn't know if that was something that was kind of like well known, universal type thing.
Right. No, I'm not sure of that specifically, but I think maybe we should start one.
I know. I mean,
I think that would be super
exactly.
important,
I think
right?
it's great thinking. I mean, I think that may just be like almost a grassroots awareness campaign in and of itself.
Yeah.
That social media is allowing people to, expand our understanding of DV and how to recognize it by suggesting something like that. Like, well, maybe we do need a sign, right? If you can't write a note, help, or, I've seen some of those videos where people like, when someone goes to the bathroom and they come back and, they may have left a note with someone else or, or people even getting into an Uber. I saw a really good video about someone who like recorded something so that someone could play it on their phone while they were in the Uber to let the Uber driver know in sort of a very obvious way that someone was waiting for them. And maybe that someone, is scary or whatever, but just to prevent some sort of assault circumstance. I think social media is opening up a range of ways to sort of fight it and create awareness, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And one of the things that we do, and I do know that the hospitality industry, like in the bar industry, if you are with someone or someone's harassing you, you can go to the bartender and say, I'd like to order an angel shot, which really they just give you water. Wow. That sort of signals that service member that there's something not right, and maybe they'll escort you to a safe place or have someone escort you to your car or into an Uber or something as well. Yeah. But one of the things that we do in order to help with the awareness is we work with a lot of different local businesses and restaurants and bars and the libraries and things, and we will put information in women's restrooms and sort of, with SARC information, resources, and just a QR code. Right. Because everybody has their phone on them. So if they're in the stall or somebody's, watching or waiting outside the door, they could at least scan that QR code and get some information. Yeah. So that is something that there
has been a lot of thought going into privacy and protecting the identity of people that might be going through this at a certain time.
Yes. And we do everything in order to protect that confidentiality and that safety for them.
We do, well, I can say we do have like materials when we go out to an event. We have some materials that are like really small, tiny sized, almost like the size of a credit card, for instance. And we make those and they like tear off, but we make those so people can hide them. They can grab it off the table really easily. So there you go. And they can like tuck it into a shirt, or they can just put it in their phone case.
Yes. So that their shoe.
And their shoe. That is, I think, a really wonderful way that we try to help keep people safe when they're accessing information about SARC.
Wow. You've really opened my mind, because even in the beginning of this interview, I think I started throwing stereotypes out there, and just trying to have a conversation and to realize that there's no one shoe, one size fits all type thing. You can't.
That's why we're grateful to be here and to have
that's
this platform and these opportunities.
I love learning, and there's just so many great things that you guys are doing, and people need to know about the advocacy and the fundraising, but they also need the opportunity to know what you guys are doing, where you guys are, so that if either that person or somebody that they know is in need of getting to safety, that you guys are a very reliable organization that can help them stay anonymous and get them through whether they need legal help or other things, the kids, the pets, that there's been a lot here, and I love it. I love it very much. I'm so glad you guys
small
came
but
in.
Mighty.
Small but right. If people want to learn more about you guys and what they can do to either help or promote or whatever, how can people find you? We kind of mentioned some in the interview, but
sure.
What are some of your social media handles, the websites, phone numbers, and all that?
Oh, okay.
There you go.
And that's for me. Okay. You know what? Just search for SARC.
That's what I did.
Hartford County.
Yeah.
That's the best way.
Yep.
And it'll pop up, and you'll see purple and gold, which are the colors that are most associated with DV awareness organizations. And we're on Instagram and Facebook, LinkedIn even, as well. And of course, our website, sarkhartfordcounty.com.
Okay.
and the phone number, which Allison knows off the top of her head.
Yep. So you can call our, I'll give the helpline again,
Yep.
410-836-8430, 24/7, 365.
Wow. I asked Bethany, I'm going to ask you the same question.
Sure.
What do you love most about what you do?
Oh my gosh. Everything.
You're making a huge difference.
We are making a difference.
Both of you, you're huge difference makers.
This is what I like to tell people, that not only do I get to do something I love, because my background is sort of sales and event planning. So I get to do that, but I get to do it for a purpose.
Yeah.
And when I joined this organization, the amount of care that they give to their staff, the amount of care that they give to the clients, the amount of awareness that is there is just second to none. And it has just been an absolute pleasure to do the work. It doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
And then the fact that we get to literally, save lives. Sort of I will tell you the funny little joke that our department is donor and community engagement.
Okay.
So our little anecdote is that, the counselors and the legal team and, everybody, they're saving lives. We're making balloon arches.
But you're saving lives through those balloon arches.
We are.
Yes, you
we're
are.
doing. I promise you, we're doing more than making balloon arches. But it's necessary to have you don't have the organization if you don't have the fundraising and you don't have the events and you don't spread the awareness. And if there's just one person that comes by our table at an outreach event, or one person that comes to one of our bull roast or something, and they're just there to have a great time, but they learn about SARC. And then they learn, what can I do to support this organization? Because I love hearing what they're doing.
Yep.
They're making a difference in the community, and how do I get involved?
Yeah.
So that is a win-win for us, and that's really what we want to do. That's what we want to accomplish.
Yeah, and we taught that from the very beginning. If this can just help one person,
just one person,
just this episode, if this could help one person, then
who's struggling, who needs help, who
Yeah.
needs a resource,
Yeah.
they know where to get in touch with us.
100%.
And I also want to say that your curiosity about it is also really wonderful.
Thank
you.
So thank you for being interested and asking questions and understanding why it's so important, because I think that is, you're modeling the really great behavior that we'd like to see other people have around this issue. So thank you.
Well, I'm a father of 3 daughters, and very protective of them, and
Sure.
I want them to grow up in a world that's safe and that they can be who they want to be, and so these are the kind of conversations that we need to have.
Right.
In a great community like we said in Harford County, that we're just so intertwined and everybody knows everybody, and when we can bring the best out of our community, everybody wins.
Absolutely.
So that's awesome. Wow. Thank you.
Thank you,
both
Tim.
of you,
Yeah,
so much. Please.
This was great.
And if you enjoyed this episode, please share this. This one's an important one to share, because again, if we can find just one person that can get the resources and the help that they need, then this whole thing was worth it for us. And even if it's not, it's still, even if it doesn't help one person, it's still worth it, because it's still getting the word out. And that's, again, the advocacy, the education, and the need to help organizations that's doing great things is so important.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know what to do. Share it up, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the Markland Advantage, as well as YouTube. If you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, you gotta watch the episode and see how radiant Bethany is with her outfit and her glasses, and just both of their sparkling personalities. Thank you, ladies, so much
Thank
for
you very
coming in.
much.
Yeah.
Until
We
next time,
appreciate it.
folks, live your life to the fullest, and we'll see you soon. Take care. So did you like this episode of the TMA Connection? Well, you might want to check this one out right here. Go ahead, click it.